Okay, so we're going to be practicing basic law of sines. Okay, so the law of sines says that sine of angle A over A equals the sine of angle B over B equals the sine of angle C over side C. Okay, so we're going to be using that to solve these triangles. So first things first, one of the ways to keep our thoughts together and help us actually set up our law of sines is when they give us our values to set up our information like this. So angle A, angle B, angle C, side A, side B, side C. So they're matching up. So then you write the information you have. So angle A is 49 degrees. Side A is 12. Side C is 9. Okay? So basically what we're going to do is we're going to use the law of sines to set up a proportion to solve for one of my missing values. Setting it up this way also gives us one of the proportions we're going to use. So we need two of these ratios to set up our proportion. So since I have angle A and side A, I know my first proportion is going to be sine of 49 over 12. Okay, and then I'm going to solve for angle C first, and then we'll work on B. Okay, so I don't have angle C, but I do have side C, which is 9. So I can find angle C by taking the arc sine and cross multiplying. So 9 times sine of 49 degrees over 12. And then all I'm going to do is I'm just going to plug that into my calculator. Okay? And I get angle C, which is going to be 34.47 degrees. So this is 34.47 degrees. So now that I have angle C, I have two of my angles, which means I can take those two angles and take 180 and subtract them to find my third angle. So my third angle, angle B, is 96.53 degrees. Okay? Now, my second proportion I'm going to set up, I'm going to start it off the exact same way. I'm going to start off by still using my original values. So I'm using my A again. So it's the same one as here. But this time, the second ratio I'm going to use is the B side. So it's going to be 96.53 over side B. And again, I'm going to cross multiply. Now, the reason I'm using the original one again is because this one does not have any rounding errors. See, this one has rounding errors and this one has rounding errors. So I don't want to use two rounding errors together, and that will give me even worse incorrect answer. But basically we do cross multiplying again. So it's going to be 12 times the sine of 96.53 divided by the sine of 49 degrees, which is approximately there, 15.80. So this is 15.80. Okay? And the last thing I should do is definitely check my answers. Do my solutions make sense? Okay? And basically what I'm saying is the biggest angle should have the longest side length with it. So 96 is the biggest angle, 15.8 is the biggest side. Smallest angle, smallest side length. Okay? And that's just a generic way of checking if your answers are correct. Okay? Alright, the second example here, I'm going to work it exactly the same way. So again, I start by filling in my information. So angle A is 32 degrees, angle C is 72 degrees, side B is 17 degrees. Okay, so that's what I have. I'm looking for angle B, side A, side C. Okay. Alright, now the first thing I notice right off my bat is I do not have a full ratio. I need either an angle and a side for one of these. But also right off the jump, I notice that I have two of my angles, which means if I subtract those from 180, I find my third one, and that's my first answer for angle B, which is 76 degrees. Now I have my first ratio to use to find the other two. So let's start next by finding side A. So I set up my first using my full ratio, so 76 degrees over 17 is going to equal sine of 32 degrees over side A. So I use that to find side A. And again, I cross multiply this times this divided by that. So I do 17 times the sine of 32. So 17 times the sine of 32 divided by the sine of 76, and I get approximately 9.28. Okay? And then I'm going to do the same thing. I'll put that there, 9.28. And then I'm going to do the same thing, sine of 76 over 17, to find my other one. So sine of 72 over side C, which means, again, we cross multiply. So it's going to look identical. So it's going to be 17 times that divided by that. It's going to look identical to our last one. And when I do that one, I get approximately 16.66. This is the 16.66. Okay? And again, double check. Biggest angle, biggest side, smallest angle, smallest side. And notice 72 and 76, those two angles aren't very far apart. And look at their side lengths, aren't very far apart. So this will look very much like an isosceles triangle if you created those side lengths. Okay? But that's the law of sines. That's it. So all you have to do is figure out the ratio that you're going to be using, and then use that twice by cross multiplying to find that fourth piece of information. So every time we set up a law of sines, we should only be missing that one piece of information.